morning.
Good morning.
Everybody awake? I'm going to say bright. It's too bloody early. This is where TBM and natural healing get to show you how they intertwine with multiple techniques. Show you some of the functional physiology, some of the lost arts of diagnosis. Those of you who were listening to me yesterday, we were talking about how you can see which organ's malfunctioning, how you can see what is going on in the body just by watching them walk. And many of the other functional diagnoses you can make. And the physiology that works around it. Anytime.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Oh, that's a lot. Oh, you're fine.
Why not? I enjoy leading you to a cliff and let you fall off.
Yeah, well, I did.
He waited till his mother got here, so she can jump all over me. I get hung out to dry. Now, functional physiology. Everything you ever studied is predicated on a dead body. Go back to your anatomy books, your physiology books, and they are describing how a dead body's supposed to work. Now, I've never seen a dead body work. I worked in a mortuary when I was going to school for a short time, doing embalming, and I never saw one of those set up on the table. They just didn't do that. So we had to take what they gave us, cadaver physiology, and adapt it to living physiology. Because you don't function like the books say. Good morning.
Good morning.
You function like the body says. So I was lucky. I'm one of these nuts.
You can say that again.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. But I knew from the time I was 8 that I was not ever going to see 51. And I planned my whole life that way. So when I got to 49, I go, whoops, that's getting close. Let's go backward. So I started having my birthdays in reverse. I went from 49 to 48, to 47, to 46. That's good. Now I jumped to 54. And I've gone on up to 78. I never saw 51. I didn't have to die. I bypassed it. I don't know if you can get away with doing something like that, but I did. And I've enjoyed it that way. But we have all kinds of rules and regulations we've been taught that are givens. You can't go against them. Well, I don't accept that. My theories, my thoughts are just as valuable as theirs, and I have every right in the world to be wrong, just like they are. But I don't think I am. I think we actually have figured out how the body works today. Don't bank on it tomorrow, but today I think we know. And we play the game as it's dealt. Have fun. Granny talked yesterday on backup systems. We know we have backups all through body function. Because it's like when you work in the workplace and you've got a team, and one of your team gets involved in a horrendous divorce. Now the guy's a normal, good worker, but he's got problems. And he starts hitting the sauce because of his divorce. So he's a little sloppy on his work. So the rest of the team steps in, tries to cover. And he gets more sauce and more sloppy, and you take on more and more of his job, goes on for a while. After you've done that for 6, 8, 10 months, you've had it. You can't do his work and your work forever. So something's got to change. So they are going to be looking at his work. And you start looking at it. Because if I don't do my work, I'm going to get fired, saving his butt. That's the important thing. So the body does the same thing. If something is not functioning, something else will try and slip in and take over and make it work. This is what we're learning in functional physiology. How the body functions. How it starts to take care of its own. And we have to play with it. And it works. We said yesterday, when I spoke yesterday, we were saying we can test and correct every known body function. And many of the things that we test and correct. Good morning, Ed. Ed Wagner, somewhere. That was the big fellow stays now. You ought to remember something. But we have fun. Like figuring out what really goes on. We got started in TBM with Diane, who was here a little while ago, because she ended up with a tubal pregnancy in 1976, and then was pumped full of antibiotics. And the normal sequelae of massive antibiotic therapy is leukemia. So she's been over to see the AKMD in Beverly Hills, Gus Tulsa, and they pumped her full of antibiotics. Says, well, sorry, you now have leukemia. She says, I know, it's a normal thing. I'm a nurse. And I know that the therapy you want to do, bone marrow transplants, hurt. I'm not into pain, so I ain't going there. So she came back, came over to Hal and I. This is what they said is going to happen. I've got 6 months to live. And either you get me out of it, or I'm out of here. Well, she had 6 months to live. Sorry, we took 9 months to get her well. Clean bill of health in 9 months. And we got looking at that, and if we can take care of a minor problem like leukemia, what can we do with the cold and flu and all the serious problems? That's where we started. And we started playing games, taking seminars, which we already were doing. I was already a man AK. But we took anybody who said they do something to try and learn the trick. Bob Lillard, he was a diplomat AK, and he found that AK was too much like work. Me too. Because you can rub, pinch, squeeze, all you want, right, Jim? And not get your job done. But when you touch a test point using an intact muscle as an indicator, and it says that is wrong, and you make a vertebral or soft tissue correction, that function turns on. And you can judge it by lab work, instruments, and you did make the change. So we started playing. And we added and added and added, and they conned us into doing seminars, and I did the basics. That was easy for me because I was already doing the basics for George. Touch for Health. And when we did the first workup in the AK, Touch for Health was what I taught. Then they went in to see George, or Sheldon Deal, or one of the others. But I was used to the basics. So I picked a dozen, 2 dozen test points. And I said, okay, you do the advanced. Al says, I will. Down on the line is, you ready for the advance? No. This gallbladder is too big, it's too good. It does too much for the body. I'm adding it to the basics. Okay. Well, this went on, and he never did do the advance. Every time I turned around, I added something to the basics. Now we have 160, 180 points. All the functions of the body in Module 1. And if you do Module 1, it will tell you more about that patient than a 4-day stay in the hospital. Because in medicine, there must be a 40 to 60% malfunction for them to say you're sick. In TBM and natural healing, we can find a 3 to 5%. Long way from symptoms. But it's a malfunction. And we can turn it back on. So you never have to get sick. Unless you're a smart aleck like me. And I don't want you ever to emulate me in this regard. I got out of Korea in '52 and started medicine. Had a year of med school, and they decided that I'd be dead in about 3 weeks. I started losing weight, 3 to 4 pounds a day. And the medical clinic at UCLA said, you're done. Go check into Slots Health. You'll be out of here in about 3 weeks. Well, that didn't sound good to my grandmother, a big German gal. And she grabbed me by the ear. You're going to see my chiropractor. I go, not me. I just spent a year learning medics were gods, and everybody else was a quack. I'm not going there. Well, your ear is. And if you want it attached to your head, you better go with it. Well, I went with it. Now, little did I know that the one she took me to was one of the quacks of the quacks. He did radionics. He did general osteopathic manipulation. And he saw 100 patients in the morning, 100 patients in the afternoon, and 100 patients at night. 5 days a week. Dr. Short in the back worked for him. And after he got me shaped up, I went to work for him under her. And Don Fields, Los Osos, California. So we worked together 55 years ago, right? Fun and games. It's surprising what we run into in chiropractic. Now, how many friends did your parents have that they've known for 55 years? And they're still viable, still working? Not many. Here, for chiropractors, we're going to be here forever. You know, there's no sense dying. I've done that, it wouldn't be fun. So I had a tremendous medical background. I was involved in a horrendous auto accident in '48. I have 3 death certificates. 2 of them are dated, timed, and signed. The third one is dated and timed. And I sat up for the 3rd time and asked him what he was doing. The first time I did that, it had been 4 hours that I'd been dead. And we about lost the doctor. He was 72 and he just signed my death certificate. And I laid back down. They waited 6 hours and I did it again. And he again had just signed his thing. So I have them somewhere. The third one, he just timed and dated and it had been 12. Waited full 24 hours for me to die. Didn't happen. I know now I brought samadhi with me, yoga, meditational samadhi, so I'd flip into that with no heartbeat, no pulse. But if they looked, I would take a breath every 5 minutes. I've been doing that in meditation for many, many years. And I can talk all the way through the whole thing. But only take a breath every 5 minutes just to fill in the gaps. So there's all kinds of funny games out there that medical science does not understand. Well, neither do we, but that's all right. We don't have to.
Isn't that an oxymoron, medical science?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's an oxymoron.
completely.
it ranks right up there with military intelligence.
Yeah. So, from there, I went to Korea, and I came back, got shot at and missed, but went to med school, and then told us we'll die. I didn't like that, so I quit school. And I went to chiropractic school. And I've never regretted a minute of it. This is when I got to pal around with all of the great chiropractic masters that were out there. Because in the 50s is when chiropractic really came to the forefront. All of the techniques, all the good stuff. Oh, I know, SOT was there. That's for those who can't adjust. And now the activator, that doesn't adjust either. From the early 50s, it was 10-finger. You grabbed it and you moved it. Even if you did HIO, you followed Al Wernstein with Knuka. Well, all these good people were out there. I got to sit at their feet. And the gems that fell out banged me on top of the head. There was only one rule. Don't ask stupid questions. Keep your mouth shut. Ask me on the way home, back in the office, but not at lunch or dinner or whatever.
So that's where you got that from.
Yep.
You told me every time I snuck along for lunch.
That's right. It's true. Because you don't want to show your ignorance. Because they're out there studying things that do not exist. Are you aware that you are illegally fixing people? I don't know what license you have. But if you inadvertently get somebody well, that's a cure. And it's totally illegal. Medics, the only ones who can cure, they can't do it. You do treat allergies? You can't do that either. They own the name allergy. They can't fix one, but they own it, so you can't do it. So in TBM, we had to change the name, and we call it harmonization, which is exactly what we do. We harmonize the body to the product, or the product to the body, and I don't care which way it goes, as long as you don't react negatively anymore. And we learned that with our adopted daughter. We had a fire redhead with opalescent skin, and she was allergic to everything. Her hair, her own skin, every food. She constantly had a cold. So what did I do? Oh, I fed her vitamin C. What was she allergic to? Vitamin C. Every time we treated her, she got worse. And with my ego, that's not nice. But I've learned I no longer have a personal ego. For TBM, yeah, big one. But personally, no. I don't need it. It's not me, it's the work that counts. We can jump in anytime you're ready.
Okay, we've been trying to get these long stories forever. We're getting them. I'm shutting up.
No. The more we learn, the more we find that we have to learn. Because we know so little. And there's no specialist out there who's going to come out and say this is the way it is. because they don't know either. But what really bugs the devil out of me is when they do find the truth, they don't do anything with it. Go back and get a Boyd's pathology from the early 50s, and categorically they say that hydrogenated fats is carcinogenic. So what do they push now? Margarine. Hydrogenated fats. Now we got surgery because you got cancer. Thank you. That's what we need. And then he came along with another good one. They've got a weed in Canada called grapeseed. And it's taken over the eastern part of Canada. They can't kill it. But it produces a phenomenal lubricating oil. But it's out of hand. They got more canola oil than shake a stick at. So what did they do? They tested it. We got another carcinogen. Isn't that nice? Let's talk McDonald's, Burger King, all of the stores to do their deep frying in canola oil and put a big sign in the waiting room there. We fry with canola oil. Trans fat does not exist. So we'll give you cancer instead. And go to the grocery store and look at all of the things you used to buy that were good. Your mayonnaise, that's not good, but it's edible. Now they've added canola oil, making it now 0 trans fat. But it causes cancer. You try and get your pure corn oil to deep fry in. Mixed with canola oil. More problems. All these fun games. And how about these new drugs? You aware of the protocol on that? Ask your doctor if you can have. Did you ever find out what it was for? Well, the doctor didn't know either. But when they get enough requests, the FDA goes, well, it must be good, everyone wants it. Never tested, never proven, but they turn it loose on the public. You asked for it, you got it. It reminds me of a TV show in the late 40s. You asked for it, with Ken Baker. It was a good show. But you had to ask for it, or you didn't see it. Now they pump out all this new stuff. And when 100,000 people die because of that drug, they yank it. And even today, they've got one ad out there. Ask your doctor if you can have our, whatever the product was, I don't remember, has not been pulled yet. They're telling you it's going to be pulled. There hasn't been enough deaths. So sign up and add to the list. We can pull it off the market. Isn't that fun? And we're quacks, right? I like treating sick people. But that's a oxymoron too, because I don't like sick people. That's why I work so damn hard to get them well. But getting back to me, I would be worked on by the best in the world. Ed, Josh, Robin worked on me, my son. And everybody would find I had an intestinal problem. Now, when I was losing weight, Karl Nixon Sr., that Dylan and I worked for, on his radiology machine found that I had parasites that I picked up in Korea. And he treated me. And the indicator left. And I quit losing weight. I didn't get my weight back. 192. And I thought I was beautiful then. But I went down to 112 before I stopped losing weight. And we checked. And the parasite was gone, so that's as far as it went. But when it came back, 40 years later, I went on, had some people do some searching, and the only parasite they know was a South American parasite that when you treat it any way possible, it goes dormant. Stops giving the indication of being there, and it will stay dormant for 10 to 50 years. Okay, mine came back in 40. I was teaching in Park City. I was in the process of training other instructors, so I had 2 or 3 of them at the ski seminar, and I started having abdominal pain. Previous to this, I had indicator of intestinal problem. And don't worry about it. It's always there. Had that for years. Every time you test, it's going to be a trigger. Don't worry about it. God didn't make any junk. So when he gave me a quote-unquote symptom, abdominal pain, trigger points for intestine, it should ring a bell. But you want to look into it. But I was tough. Don't worry about it. It's always there. Well, we're there in Park City, and I started developing abdominal pain. And I turned the class over to one of the instructors. I went back to my room and laid down. That was Sunday. Because we do ski seminar, seminars, 8 to 1. And then ski or lay on the beach or whatever in the afternoon. So when 1 o'clock came along, they came back and said, we're going out to lunch, go with us. No, say, bring me soup or something. And I hurt. They came back, they worked on me again. Got up Monday morning, went in, I was there for an hour. I said, take over, I can't do it. Went back to the room. They came in, worked on me again. Tuesday morning I got up, went into breakfast, and that's it, I've had it. I can't take any more. So one of the doctors, a medical doctor from California, called down, got an appointment with internist in Salt Lake. We jumped in my brand new van. Randy drove it down. But we had 15 miles on it or something like that. Got down, I'm in agony. We had 6 doctors with us, including the one MD. And we went into the internist. I'm there, give me something for pain. You know, take my gut out, take my head off, I don't know, whatever. And he said, no, we don't know what's there. I can't give you pain till I know what's going on. Let's get an x-ray. I said, yeah, let's go get an x-ray. Now, how many have read abdominal x-rays? A couple people. Don't you x-ray anymore? Ooh, wee. Normally when you take a flat plate of the belly, you've got the colon outlined in gas and white stuff. Well, you ever see snow on your TV? That's what my gut looked like. No colon, no gas, just mottled everywhere. And we're going, am I good at x-ray? I can't find anything in it. It's something new to me. And everybody else did the same thing. And he said, you're going to the hospital. You're going across the street. I don't care. Will they give you something for my pain? Probably. Okay, let's go, you know. Take my head off. I don't care. I was hurting so bad. Next thing I woke up, I had 10 feet of intestine left. I had an ileostomy bag. And I was in no shape to go anywhere. They had gone in, emergency surgery. They found that the ileum, all of the colon, had liquefied. They had to suck it out of there with a vacuum pump. And they thought that was going to be bad news. So they sewed me up with a ileostomy bag. Now, a colostomy bag you can live with, but that's down low, below the ASIS. But an ileostomy, that is at the belt line. So you can't dress. You gotta wear sloppy, loose clothing because the darn bag's right there. Well, they believed me when I said, you leave that bag on there, I'm out of here. So we'll come back in 6 weeks, and we'll take that off and reconnect everything to the rectum. Now everything that's left is the duodenum and the jejunum. Everything else is gone. They're going to reconnect it to the rectum. Okay. 6 weeks, I healed beautifully. They didn't put any stitches in my surgical line. They put tape over here on the sides, safety pins, a wet piece of gauze over the incision, and rubber bands hook up the safety pins. And it healed without a scar. In that 6 weeks, it was beautiful. Went back 6 weeks. They opened me up, took the bag off, connected the jejunum to the rectum, and thought they were finished. Except that every spot they touched hemorrhaged. And the nurses weren't listening. Diane was there. She was telling them I'm bleeding. And well, a little blood is normal. Well, when the blood had soaked through the sheet, the blanket on top of me, is that enough blood for you? And then they panicked. In the process of trying to fix it, they nicked my gallbladder. And it sprayed, and I sucked in bile. So I have 2 lungs full of Swiss cheese that don't breathe well. Which is no fun. And if you're not aware of the medical activity, there are 3 diagnoses that work for medical doctors today. 1, if you have a drug that reacts negatively, negative response to therapy, your fault, shouldn't have had the drug. It's not the doctor's fault or the drug. And if you die in surgery, negative response to procedure, you shouldn't have been there. Shouldn't have had that surgery. And the third one, failed to live up to his wellness potential. This came out about 10 years ago. It is the legal defense for medical screw-ups. You can't sue them. It's a patient's fault. They died or got sick or whatever. If they live, then they can sue. Well, I was in surgery for 6+ hours. And when they came out, after all screwing up my lungs and everything else, on a 8.5 by 11 sheet, I had 3 lines. Normal surgical procedure. Nothing normal about hemorrhaging. That's usually blue light affair. Anyway, so they gave me an hour and a half to live. Now Diane asked, when they had said that was it, if she could bring a couple of my people in, and she did. One of them was here running around, he was here yesterday. And they said that if I survived medically, I'd be on life support for 2 to 4 months, in intensive care for another 2 to 4 months, in the hospital for another 2 to 4 months, if I survived the next year, hour and a half. Well, she brought my people in. I was off life support in 2 hours, out of ICU in 2 hours, and home in 12. TBM works.
Do you think one of those doctors ever showed up for a seminar? Not one. It's ridiculous.
They kept saying they wanted to, never did. One of them ran from Salt Lake all the way to Myrtle Beach. I haven't taught a seminar in Myrtle Beach for 18 years. Anyway, that's where I came from. So I've got 10 feet of intestine. I can eat anything I want except overindulgence in Mexican hot sauce or good English curry. I know that's Indian, but in London there's pretty good curry shops.
Vindaloo is good.
What?
Vindaloo? That's a real hot stuff.
Yeah. But I have to watch that. But the breathing, that's what gives trouble. I didn't know I had this problem because we didn't automatically get a copy of the surgical report. So I was doing the advanced healing seminar, which is limited to 12 people, doctors, where they are the patient. And I was 112 pounds. I just healed up from that surgery. And I'm working on a 200-pound weightlifter. And I reared back and fired, and I bounced. And I didn't know that I couldn't adjust at 112 pounds, like I did when I was 175, 180. And I blew a rib. So the crew laid me down, put my rib back in, and I had to go get approval to go to Costa Rica for our annual research meeting. And I inadvertently told the surgeon that I had a little trouble on Sunday. I tried to adjust, I popped a rib. Now I'm having a little trouble breathing. And she said, oh, that looks like pneumothorax to me. Now when I was in school 50 years ago, they didn't have pneumothorax. I don't even know they knew about thorax. Let alone pneumo. So it didn't mean anything to me. She said, let's get an x-ray. I said, okay. Oh, she says, you won't fly. And I'm calling Diane because I don't trust you to tell her. I was leaving tomorrow to go to Costa Rica. So she got an x-ray, and here's a 5x8 bubble on top of the right lung. See, I told you it was pneumothorax. You fly, you die. You get the altitude, it'll just explode. You got 15 seconds, you're done. So you fly, you die. I'm calling Diane. Okay. Well, come in tomorrow, we'll see if it's any better. Well, I did. They didn't do anything, but they took another x-ray. It was worse. Oh, that's improved. For who? Improved for the mortuary, but not for my getting on a plane and going anywhere. Well, we got a little procedure we can do. We can tap into that bubble of air and suck it off and maybe seal it a little bit. Could I fly? Probably. Let's do it. I got to get to Costa Rica. Stupid, right? That's me. Expedience. I should have forgot it. But went in, they pumped 500 cc's of tetracycline and baking soda in the pleura. Tied my feet to the foot of the bed, tipped it up, said, okay, now do sit-ups. I just had 6 weeks earlier abdominal major surgery, but I'm doing sit-ups.
I hadn't done them since.
No, not about it. And they said, okay, now do sit-ups to the side. You got to slosh this stuff around to cause enough scar tissue so it'll heal. What? So then pleura is healed against the lung doesn't move. So, I took it for an hour and a half, was all I could do, and I'm done. That hurts too bad. And they sucked out 1,200 cc's. Put in 5, take out 12, that's not bad. Except I can't breathe now. And can I fly? Yeah, you can go. Well, the meeting was Monday through Friday. I got there at 12:30 Friday afternoon. Missed the whole week. But since then, I've been playing breathing problems. I had oxygen at night. Then I had it on planes. Then I had it. Now I've got it. And it was on high dosage, short periods. Now it's on very, very low dosage, almost 24/7. Trouble. Don't like it. I'm working on it. So, anybody gets any wild ideas, pass them our way. We'll give them a shot. Okay? But we're still going. We'll be in Dallas in 2 weeks, doing the 1, 2, and 3. Fun and games. Okay? Take off.
Take off.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, let's get a victim up here. Sure. How many of you actually look at your patient? Stand over here. I'll go ahead and face it. It's all right. But look at your patient and see what's wrong.
One.
2.
2. Oh, yeah. I trained both of them. Yeah.
When you walk your patient into the office, do you watch their gait? You watch their body position to know where you're going after, knowing what you're going to have to fix. I had a gal yesterday in class asked, well, how are you going to know? Watch your patient. Now walk to the back door and back. Just normal.
You sure did.
So what are you seeing?
Do it again. What's his butt doing?
He's got
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's just moving one way and not the other. He has like a pitch roll in the eyes. Off that way, his left ankle, left knee, and left hip are out of alignment, heads forward. Lots of stuff going on, yeah. Some deep abdominal muscles in the small intestine. Anyway, and the left palm is facing back, so that has to do with Terry's minor muscle weakness, thyroid. You think?
And he thought he was healthy.
It's going no.
Not mental blood sugar.
Walk again, please.
Walk again.
Walk in.
No, it's different.
Totally off balance.
Arms are not swinging.
Left lat isn't working.
Right one swings further than left. I think. So I got switched around.
Do it again.
You haven't had enough yet.
Aren't you glad you borrowed?
Keep walking.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep
Couple
walking
more
until
times.
it stops.
Actually, there's pronation in both ankles.
Look at his head position, is sitting way
It's
forward.
forward.
It's forward,
Head is
yeah.
way forward.
Yep.
There's segments that are not moving in his spine as well.
Yeah.
Fixation. They're fixated, they're not moving.
You know, high shoulders, so you got shin problem. And high ears, he has a nuclear oxidant.
Yeah.
Turn this way just for a second.
Yes, they can spin.
You like watching the last?
Runway material.
I was trying to get a cute gal for you, but he volunteered early.
I was in pain this morning, that's why I volunteered.
It's obvious.
Are you hurting more as you walk?
No, it's
Feels
all the
better?
upper body.
Yeah, got shoulders, fixation.
A lot of movement in the rib cage.
Let's see where you're saying. No, that figures. He's
High
close.
thymus.
Who worked at it?
I can tell you,
Okay.
2 over here and 1 over there.
Oh, that would screw it up.
Yeah, they were water.
No, it's not in a bad way, just, I can't do anything. You were toast.
He's high thymus.
Because somebody worked on you.
Somebody worked on it, it was something that filled your body's computer. If I make one more move, your computer will crash. Now, if you wanna go to the hospital, give me an arm.
He sits down.
Now, when
Thank
we're
you.
looking at somebody walking up and down, please, those of you who can, don't send energy. Don't try and fix them while they're walking. That's what happened here. There were 2 over the other side, sending energy, and 1 over there. And left nothing to be able to be fixed. If you fix in the right order, in the right way, you can do the job. But if you jump in and do a couple things out of order, you lose the whole game. So if you normally do energy work, fine, but curtail it. Use it when you're in control. Here's not a control place. Okay?
So what you do is for this picture?
Right now, nothing.
Nothing. If I,
He's in toast.
it's what I call toast, computer's full. And a high thymus is like having, have you ever written a long report on your computer? And you go, finally, I got it done. You turn around and hit the print, so it's spooling out to your printer, and then you remember you did not save it. You got 5 days into that stupid thing, you want to save it.
Happened to me once.
You hit save and the computer crashes, well, that's where he's at. If I make one more move, that's the save button. He can spool to the printer, but he can't spool to save it and crash the system.
What would happen if you do anything in this picture?
We have had patients have heart attacks and go to the hospital. We've had them 3 days with can't talk. We've had nothing happen. So which side of that coin do we want to risk? Right. So we always check to make sure that we've got a strong high thymus and the body can handle another move.
How long do you wait?
It can be just seconds, it can be an hour.
It
Maybe
can
we test him now.
be 9 months. We had one,
It'd be a walking strike.
9 months, no treatment. Before they came out of high thymus so we could treat them.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
And that
chronic
was-
fatigue. And we knew the answer, but it was a 3 or 4 step correction.
I
We
mean,
knew what it was, how to go through it, but everybody wouldn't accept it. one move back in high caucus. Gal followed me around seminar after seminar, hoping she could have the next move. She's been dead for 2 years. Yeah,
Every time she came to the seminar, her health was better. She was bedridden when it started.
we finally made the last move and she went with us to Australia. But you've got to do what the body wants. And luckily with TBM, we know. We don't know, your body knows. It says do this, so we do it.
And it gives us a way of communicating to find out. Do we know all the systems? No. We know all the different functions independently? Not even a clue. We know some. And the some that we know, we can turn around and use and get the body back up and running and doing its job.
Would you test him again, see if he's out of hypothalamus?
Yeah?
Just out of curiosity? No?
Still toast.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be there a while.
Dehydrated probably.
I drank about 6 bottles of water yesterday.
That's it.
What'd you do today?
6 of those.
Little blue ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's severely dehydrated.
And how much today will be the next question.
Well, he has barely touched his coffee. Yeah, especially here in the desert. Now you need the full volume of water. And your weight's probably about 7 to 8 liters per day. What do you weigh?
212.
212, that's 5, that's 7. Right?
I don't push that hard.
No, but that's still, yeah, it's 5 plus, that's 7. 7 liters.
I go 6. But I'm not doing the work you're doing. That's just true. Individual. Okay?
What are the flights on 6?
Just another person.
5 plus 2 is my weight. It's 1 quart per 50 pounds plus 2 is my formula. For Dad, it's plus 1. But I've seen the difference with the plus 1 versus plus 2. And once they get in their full amount of plus 2, they automatically start drinking plus 3, plus 4, plus 5.
Without counting, without knowing it.
Without even thinking about it. It removes the struggle. And when I saw the results with my patients, because I started out with EI patients with the extra water, because they're highly toxic. It's the only thing wrong with them. Even their thinking is toxic. So I started overhydrating them a little bit, add the extra quart. They started feeling better, and they started getting it in consistently. They went from drinking 5 liters to 7, 9, 10 liters a day. You go asking them, how much water you got in so far? But you always got to make sure they're drinking it. Oh, I got 4 in, and it's only noon. But I'll get another 3 or 4 in this afternoon, no big deal. And it's just off the cuff, not a threat. But when they were drinking the plus 1,
It was a fight.
it's a fight all the way. Well, I'm fighting, I've got almost all of it. And it's a drudgery. You go to the plus 2, it's easy. They're up, they drink it, and they can't think of not drinking it. Now, I also deal with the neurological systems. So I'm dealing with a lot bigger pictures as well. Where Dad's work is dealing with the individual components. Both have to be used. It's not a matter of one's better than the other. We're not. My work couldn't survive without his. And his, on a lot of the extreme cases we deal with, can't survive without mine. Which is nice. Usually the son's always dependent on the father. Now the father's dependent on the son too.
Up and down, back and forth. So it does work that way. When you start dealing with function, it's a whole different ballgame. That's what makes it fun. Because you never know what you're gonna see, what you're gonna run into, or what's gonna happen. Because miracles do happen. So expect them. We see them daily.
Yeah.
When you have someone like him that has a different component going on, how do you know what's primary?
You test. Muscle test.
Okay, not necessarily. If you are seeing a patient and you are doing TBM, you're going to do the full workup of module 1, just the way it's written. And you're not through with module 1 till you finish the whole 180 points. Then you're going to be on a menu. And the body will tell you exactly what you're going to do. After you've got module 1 done, the usual is 3 to 5 corrections, period. I was like you, I adjusted front, back, top, bottom, acupuncture, nutrition. Don't need it. Now, we've been accused in chiropractic of over-treating. Now, I'm not talking about visits. I'm talking about on the visit. Because you do everything you know on every visit. And 80% of what you're doing is trying to negate the 20% the body wants. The body is simple. Fix what it wants and get out of there. And the patient gets well much faster, and your practice grows like gangbusters. Because you didn't hurt them, you didn't keep them coming, and you want to discharge them as quick as possible. We're accused of, you never turn a patient loose. You got to come back and come back and come back and come back. No. When you do module 1, they're on a 12-visit correction of sugar and learn to live in their body, and at least then discharge it. But if you blow your sugar, you get your little butt in here. I don't have to go start from the beginning. And they will be in much more often than you could schedule them. My mother-in-law had a birthday, and I had to have that ice cream and cake, and I blew my sugar. That's the third time the mother-in-law had a birthday this week. They forget who they lied about. It's never the patient's fault. My mother-in-law, my boss, my wife, the kids, and they got forced into blowing their sugar. I said yesterday, I've said today, 2 things go wrong with this physical body. If they walk through the door of your office as a patient, they're dehydrated. They'll drink anything in the world but water. And they got a sugar handling problem. Other than that, they're in great shape. Almost dead, but they're in great shape for dead dogs. Because they fit all of the dead criteria. Get them drinking their water, get their sugar back under control, and the spark comes into their life. This is what you want. Patients that feel good, as well as look good, and refer. That's what counts. And you do not diagnose. What'd you do, doctor? I don't know, I fixed them. What'd you fix? I don't know. Their palpation told me. I hate soap those. Glad I'm not in practice. Because I would not have soap notes. I used to have a box that said adjust. Check. I had three things on my travel card. ATJ, a place for hyper, for sugar. I could check those, which one was wrong. And the third one was bust. They did a lot of breast augmentation. And I checked for adjusting. I put in the numbers of the actuates I had to use for the bust development. And I checked off hyper, hypo. If they had both oppositic, and I checked both of them. I rarely had anything else on my travel card. Well, if they fell down a flight of stairs, I might make a note that they fell down a flight of stairs, but just to keep notes, no way. Check mark. I've never lost in court because of not having written something. It's there in code. There's a check mark. I fixed them. So, fun and games. Don't ever say you treated hypoglycemia or diabetes. That's not within your realm of expertise. Sure, you can fix it. No big deal. But medically they can't, so therefore you can't. They're the only ones who can fix it. And they don't know how. And wouldn't if they did. So you just treat. I've balanced their spine. Period. Quit. Have fun. Okay. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Good.
In his case, that he has so much head forward, the posture, if you take an X-ray, only the curve is not, he doesn't have to like a thoracic curve on the cervical. How do you fix that? Because usually they say it takes a long time, more than 40 visits to see the next result in the X-ray. And as
Not
far
if
as
the body
this-
works. When the body is turned on,
It can get
it can
back.
change itself.
How soon can you get it back? With it?
10 seconds. Can. I didn't say it will, but it, yeah, it can.
And you want to get the body functioning. Because the body knows what it's supposed to be doing.
Consider to go through all the muscle tension.
Oh, God, no. Go through the function.
But
Testing muscles does nothing for the body. Fix the function, and all the muscles are fixed. It's a one-way street. I'm sorry, we built AK. We built it backwards. Tested and rubbed all the muscles. A lot of cotton picking work. And it didn't affect any function. But test the function. Make the correction of the function, the muscle fixes. And you didn't do all that work. Yeah,
So his forward head posture, and assuming a straight cervical curve, phase 2 degeneration is lower neck, correct if you get the body turned on doing what it's supposed to?
yeah, then they go
Without
there,
doing any kind of rehab?
use a neck roll on the floor watching the news at night.
Okay, so there is some.
Oh, sure.
Take home or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
but in the office,
No.
oh, well, you got their sugar under control, discharge them. But they'll be in a couple, 3 times a week
Yeah.
on their own recognizance. Because you didn't order them to. If you blow it, get in here.
Then of course you adjust them or do whatever's
Yeah,
necessary.
you do whatever the menu says.
Not
I
you.
think bilateral anterior pelvis might return that curve.
Well, that's what we've been talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
Or in this case, the sacral spin.
But his
His
feet are
butt's
doing
over
that.
here and the shoulder's over here.
I know.
You know, there's a lot of things out there. And of course, it's not being taught in school. So I'm gonna give you a commercial. TBM has a video, DVD, The Art of Chiropractic. 38 adjusting techniques that are not taught in school. How to stop your patient from tripping over the pattern in the rut. Very common. Somebody spits on the sidewalk, you fall over. Believe it or not, that's a T8, T6 problem, in that order. Go to the college, it's in the library, and watch it. Pardon? Any other question?
My boy's pathology, I tried to look up the trans fat stuff,
No, it wasn't called trans fats,
well, or,
but it says in there that hydrogenated fats
well, I looked
are
at
carcinogens.
hydrogenated fats and.
57, yeah, page 57, the bottom half of the page.
And what edition is it in, you know?
They were just talking about function.
Okay, I'll look it up again, because I got my board's pathology, I think was printed or it was.
I don't know where mine went. That was, I had that book before I learned I didn't have it.
I bought it in 1960, I guess it was.
I bought mine in 1953.
Okay. So I'll have to look back in the library and see if I can find it someplace.
I think it's on page 57.
Because I was in the hospital about a month ago
I remember.
with the TIA. And I was in this one hospital that specializes in strokes and heart problems. You know what they serve? Margarine.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, hospitals serve.
I had a request butter.
And you're lucky that you got it.
Yeah, I asked the neurologist, I said, what's this? What, didn't you get the memo? He says, don't talk to me, he says, talk to the head of the hospital.
Yeah,
Write a letter, which I did. I haven't got an answer from him yet.
no,
And
you won't.
I'm going to send another letter to him and the board of directors. But I want to get the code copy out of Boyd's pathology and say, didn't you folks get the memo? I said, even McDonald's can't serve hydrogenated fat in New York City. It's a law. And you folks are supposed to be a health institution? Excuse me.
Not a hospital. That's not a health.
We're gonna die.
Yeah. I said,
They have
it's
nothing
supposed to be.
to say about health.
They don't know anything about health, they know about sickness.
Yeah.
Health, yeah.
Glad you said that.
So I wrote a long letter. So,
It'll help somebody else maybe.
hopefully, that can help me.
Okay, any other questions?
We see another victim?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, before you get started. It's no fun. All right, who filled the room?
Okay,
I'm sure you wouldn't see.
Good.
At least you didn't get popped. Walk.
My phone was removed at all.
I gotta get fixed, I gotta go skiing next week.
You want, yeah?
Oh, man.
Does anybody see any movement in that spine?
No movement, it's fine.
I've seen steel rods that have more movement.
Does he had back surgery?
No. TIA.
Hip surgery?
No surgery,
Good.
except I had half my colon removed for colon cancer, now I have a semicolon.
Oh.
Take
And the rest is serious.
They said I was full of it.
Take a pause. Just,
So what all did you see?
we as always.
No fluorescent.
Can you fix me?
Main circuit breaker is turned off. So you have a bunch of blown fuses all the way down the line.
Okay. Somebody reset it.
That's what you're gonna do.
Chip's deceiving. You're safe.
I moved it over and I said.
It's loaded both your guns.
Oh, okay, that sounds reasonable.
At least I'm taking it proactive.
Keeps you focused and aware.
Anything else you want to add?
Oh,
Okay. All right, spin around. That's where we're sitting. Good. Heart. That's bad. Liver. Lungs are good. Bronchi.
Colon.
Brain.
He said transverse descending's good. Small intestines.
What's that?
You're breathing? Man, you're doing good.
Yeah, I'm also 81.
Yeah. I'm sorry, 75 is midlife.
Well, I just beyond it. Because I had my first adjustment at 6 weeks of age.
All right. Good for you.
Yeah. The medical doctor, I was having convulsions. And the medical, I told my parents, said, I hope he lives through the night. That's when my mother called in a lady chiropractor. Barbara came out to the house.
Where was this? Where were you born?
Freeport, New York, Long Island.
Oh, fantastic.
Before you do that, would you check the brain? Because he said he had TIA.
Yeah.
Would that be affecting a lot of other things too?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm gonna play with this and see what it does.
For those of us who don't know.
It's natural healing technique in a vial.
No, what is it really?
It's what
Really?
it is.
That's what it is.
And that's what it is.
Then you get a vial.
Yep. Breathe in.
Okay.
Just because you think it's not possible.
we have a psychiatrist that has psychiatry in a sack.
I called it psycho in a bag.
That's good.
The entire program. Everything I teach in my seminar.
Okay.
All right. Breathe in. So I've also got my father's technique in a bag, in a vial.
So what you're trying to do is clear 180 points right now. Okay.
Plus. No, he's trying to clear 1 point.
Well, we're talking about clearing 180 points in a priority standpoint.
Heart's good.
Before you get to the source.
Small intestine's good. Kidneys. Good. Walk.
He's worse.
It's just change.
I'm an unemployed comedian.
You know why you're unemployed? Keep walking. So what's changed?
Well, you're not limping as much as you would. Yeah. The sacred's moving pretty good. Man, I wish that was me walking up and down there.
There's more movement in the arms.
There is, yeah.
Look at the spine.
Yes, where the movement, yeah.
Still losing his balance a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's like TIA.
It's moving now.
That's, TIA is only a symptom. It's a causative that I'm concerned with. Like driving down the road with a flat tire. You can either put air in the tire or find the nail and patch it. I'd rather find the nail.
His left arm isn't swinging very much.
Yeah.
But it's helped really well.
Brainstem. Yep. Okay, what are you playing with?
I'm not playing.
Yeah,
I'm watching the one that is though.
Oh. Medicine fireworks?
No. She said we picked out the one you're gonna treat next.
Who? Are we on it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Breathe in. That would figure.
She's fixing what you got out there.
Uh-huh. How's your balance?
Looking faster. The arms moving.
left
Seems
arm
a
was
little
behind his,
better.
trail canner now.
I've been having trouble with balance, so,
Yeah, no.
and, just trying to stand on one foot. Can't do it. And, with my eyes closed,
Your feet.
a little swaying,
Better?
some better, but standing on one foot is, when I ever get stuck, I never pass the drainage yield.
That's only because you drink too much. I'm impressed that the ankle's corrected.
It's neurology. Now go back there and get 3 glasses of water.
Yeah, that's, oh, here's the one right here. It's all cold water.
It's all right, cold, hot, doesn't matter. Takes 5 gallons of ice to change the stomach temperature 1 degree. You're not drinking 5 gallons of ice, so that's a myth. Ice water slows down digestion. Dilutes your food. No, you need water. Doesn't matter if it's hot, cold, or room temperature. Cold water doesn't go down as fast because it freezes halfway down. I'll give you that. Room temperature, you can guzzle more. But here in Vegas, it gets nice and warm. You know, that real ice water tastes good. Yeah.
Randy, how do you get over the fluoridated water that we have in Las Vegas that they've added plastic fluoride?
Fred Van Loo's reverse osmosis
Oh,
in my home, because I live here.
sure. I was just wondering.
But when I'm out and about, don't worry about it.
It's not gonna get too much, it's not gonna knock it out once in a while.
Yeah.
I don't think.
You know, when I'm at a restaurant, I'm gonna drink the water there. I'm here, yeah, I'm gonna drink a lot more of it. But when I get home, I'm back to my 8 to 12 liters. And that's what I drink a day, is 8 to 12.
You do it?
Me? Right now, 148.
Wow, you're a lot.
Yeah, oh, I only need 5. Yeah. It was 5 and 6.
You don't need to,
You're over the 200.
Yeah.
But I still drink, just because I'm thirsty.
there you go.
What about, if you're drinking coffee or something, you need another glass of water just to counteract the cup of coffee or something? I heard,
No.
I thought I heard you say.
I drink a pot of coffee in the morning before I get started.
A pot of coffee.
Oh, heck yeah.
And it's strong, real
Yeah,
strong.
it's strong coffee. It competes with espresso, and I call them diluted. And it's a drip.
Okay.
But, I do pick my beans and witch and roast, and it's a good flavor for me. But I still have a pot of coffee. While the coffee is brewing up, I'm filling up my 32-ounce water glass. I've got that half gone before I even touch the first cup of coffee.
There you go. Well, that's the key to it.
And it's sitting on my desk, and I'm just sipping it all.
Well, when I was a young fellow, 17, 18, the girls used to like playing the waves. Now they can play on the beach.
He can finish his glasses.
Want to oil up my parts?
That's what we're doing. But you still didn't answer the question.
really feel any change.
You need to drink more
What
water.
about your thinking? Your head feel different? Oh, I'm not here to get smoke up my butt.
I don't feel it.
Toast.
Oh, I was gonna ask you to check his diaphragm.
Pretty good.
As a novice, never seen it.
You can try to power through it, but you're still toast.
Can you check his diaphragm?
Nope, you can't even check. You won't get an accurate answer.
Okay.
You'll dance back and forth.
How long did the operation last?
I had one gal that, one of the doctors, when I was teaching TBM, she came to me, and I started to work on her, and I was worked on her like, her body was responding like she had my work. This was TBM course, so I asked her, have I worked on you before? Yeah. When? 3 years ago? And she saw no one since. Wow. Never got work done by anybody. And her health went straight up for whatever she had. She came in to get a checkup. Figured it'd been a while. 3 years. Still running. But that's the one benefit with natural healing and TBM. We're not putting anything into the system. When you flip the fuse to your kitchen, now your stove works. Do you expect it to be on a timer and shuts off in 90 minutes? Once you turn that circuit on, it should stay on. It should not shut off. Because we're not changing the body's makeup and how it works. We're only resetting the circuits that are there to begin with. And we're still developing and creating, discovering the different systems in the body. We really have no clue. We know that if we get this system, which we called XYZ, it does this. We know that if we've developed a program over here that will do that. But they're the body's own system. So once they're on, unless they do something stupid like the right turn into a tree going down the ski run, the auto accident, the jumping the ATVs just to find out that was a little farther of a jump than they wanted. Skiing, water is not soft at 40 knots. You know, stupid things like this that makes life worth enjoying.
Especially if sitting with a doc watching. Thanks. Exercise is a spectator sport.
That explains where you're at, Dad.
Right? I enjoy watching football.
That's a different toy of a different color. But how many people saw changes? And he says the same.
Yeah, the program's working.
Huh?
Program's working. Possibly won't notice anything until he gets his water down.
Yeah. But actually, I'm not surprised also with the brainstem being involved and not working properly. Communication is cut off. It's going to take a little bit of time for that to rewrite.
Okay.
In this particular case. If it was younger, quicker, yeah, okay, it'd be faster. But at his age, it doesn't matter how much I want now. Sometimes you have to concede to what the body is capable of.
It's not his age, it's his condition.
I will accept that. But getting the water in, that'll start helping.
That's one of my major problems, is getting the water in. Because when you put all the water in, it's gotta come out someplace.
Absolutely.
And,
It comes out your skin, your breath, urine is actually a small percentage of the water going in. Except when you're toxic. The body doesn't have time to turn around and dump that toxin out, it's going straight to the bladder. And as long as you're going to the bathroom every few minutes, you're swelling, you're bloating, that tells you how toxic you are. Because once you get the body hydrated, you go 2-3 times a day. You're there for a while. Because that bladder now can take that toxicity, it's diluted enough that it can hold a full quart and a half. Well, when you're sitting there and you're going and you're done and nothing flat, you're holding a few ounces, that tells you how toxic that urine is. And I don't care what the lab reports say about how toxic it is. That bladder says it's toxic. Frankly, that's the one I care about. Oh, that's fine, you should be able to hold it full. Yeah, well, it said it's either we go or I go, your choice. Obviously, the bladder thinks it's toxic. So as long as you're going small amounts, you're still dehydrated. It takes 1 to 3 weeks for the body to start permeating that water and diluting it enough that it can start holding it proper quantity. But if you miss a day, it starts over. That last drop. And on my quantity, if you get the last drop in, the changes happen. 1/4 per 50 pounds plus 2. You miss even that last drop, and your changes are slow. It's fun to watch because I got patients that, they're good patients. Oh man, that last sip, didn't worry about it. I went, no. The next day, they got that last sip in, and everything just turned on like light switches. Just that drop. But it's enough. The body is critical. Now, I'm also using a lot of systems in the body. So I'm putting a great demand on getting the neurology back up and running at full power and full strength. I'm not dealing with, okay, we're going to go one little switch here for this room and a switch for that. I'm hitting the main circuit breakers for the entire city. So it's a great demand on the body to get it back up. Another reason I need the extra 2 quarts. But when you got the whole city powered up, and you still got 3-4 homes that are not powered up, then you have to have something to be able to go after those individual homes and deal with that wiring circuits. And that's where TBM excels. That's their specialty. They're great at it. Yeah.
Let's do another trick.
Okay. Go.
How many do sports medicine? 1, 2.
Well, you got Ed over there.
Oh, yeah.
He's not advertising.
Now. Knee trouble.
That's all.
How many like knee trouble? Because they're easy?
Yep.
Knee trouble, gallbladder. 4 years. A acupuncturist from Singapore, learning English. When he got stuck, he paced. Knee trouble, gallbladder. Knee trouble, gallbladder. 4 years. I finally learned. It's utterly impossible to have knee trouble without a bad gallbladder. Any major joint in the body, ankle, knee, hip, elbow, shoulder, and the wrist,
And the spine.
and yeah, but not as bad. But not as specific. Knee. Gallbladder. One of our instructors, Sandy Fico, from Florida, just got out of chiropractic college, was up in Connecticut at her parents' home, and was training for the Boston Marathon. And she, going up and down the hills up there, and blew a knee. And so she'd gone to the orthopod, New York College, don't treat it, ship it, you know. So she was scheduled for surgery for the knee. But she said, now, I got a problem. I've got a seminar in Miami that there's no refund. And it was an expensive seminar. So I want to postpone the surgery until I go to Miami next week. And the surgeon says, oh, okay, we can do that. So I went down to Parker at the Fontainebleau, there in Miami Beach. And she's wandering around her first Parker seminar, the other Parker before it was taken over, Jimmy. And she saw some friends of hers, you know, who should I listen to? Vic's on, go sit in him, he's always good for a laugh. But she wandered down where I was expounding the virtues of TBM. She walked in the door on crutches and a big brace. I'm saying, has anybody got knee trouble? I do. Get up here. You ain't touching it. I don't have to, nothing wrong with it. Slated for surgery, wearing a big brace and on crutches. So I got her up on the platform, took off the brace, had her stand there, tested out the gallbladder, which is 1 inch lateral, and this is an inch, the thumb of the patient, to the nipple line in the 6th, 7th rib space. It's a 1 finger touch. And it went weak. I reached behind her, and bilateral transverse process, I tapped on it, at neutral, no conscious breathing, had her take a breath, did it again, let it out, did it again. So you've got to treat it. Neutral, no conscious breathing, as they inhale, as they exhale, because the body works on function. You were taught in school to adjust patients for rest. Take a deep breath, let it all out, wham! Don't move, don't think, don't breathe, you're fixed. But what good's that? You're laying on the table forever. You don't dare move. No. Function has to be adjusted on the phases of respiration. You function while you breathe in, while you breathe out, and in between. So we fixed T4. Okay, squat. Well, she goes, you don't understand, I can't squat. What's your favorite sport? Marathons. You bring your shoes? Yeah. Now give me a mile. Well, she went and gave me 3 miles. She's not had surgery yet. That's been 18, 20 years.
One move.
One move, T4. Now, if they're really in trouble, one trick on T4 won't do it. So have them bend the knee, squat, up and down, until they blow the gallbladder. T4 again. Have them squat again. Run up and down the flight of stairs until you cannot blow the gallbladder. One of our doctors from Washington was at a ski seminar and went out on the slopes in the afternoon and blew a knee. our people caught her, brought her back to the hotel before the patrol got her to the surgery. But on the process of coming back to the hotel, they went by the medical tent there in Park City, and the medics out there patrolling for business. Oh, you gotta have surgery right now. Yep, you gotta have surgery right now. You got a bad blown knee. That's all right, I'll get it fixed. So I brought her back to the hotel. We worked on a half stairway, and we had to run her up and down the stairway 10 times before we couldn't blow the gallbladder. We finally, at the 10th rep, and it's not going to blow, so it is. You're done. Well, she's back out on the slopes the next day, skiing, and went by the med tent. What are you doing out here skiing? You're supposed to have surgery. Didn't ask what happened, how you could be here. Yesterday you were destroyed, and I lost the surgery. No question whatsoever.
That's amazing.
It's fun. Because you don't always have what you've got. You got a malfunction. Something had to allow it. And I learned that gallbladders would allow major joint problems. And knee troubles are so easy. T4.
When you mentioned gallbladder, are you talking about energy of it or?
Test point.
Structure it or?
That's the spot. It gives you a weak muscle.
But it
Trigger
doesn't
off
have to
the-
be anything wrong with the gallbladder as far as.
Of course there's something wrong with it. The wiring's wrong, the computer program's wrong. Now, what do you consider a bad gallbladder? Do you consider what, okay, 1907, Mayo. When Mayo invented the gallbladder surgery, because you got a gallstone, is that gallbladder a problem?
Yes.
No, it's not. It's a dehydration problem. So, when you have a gallbladder that triggers out as being in trouble, and you treat T4, put them on apple juice, breakfast and bedtime. 6 to 8 ounces, breakfast and bedtime. For 30 to 90 days, ask the body. Now, if they're in deep trouble, like they do have gallstones, then you've got to do something to get rid of it. So there's a trick. Been around the health food industry for years. 5 ounces of classic Coca-Cola, 6 ounces of virgin olive oil, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 2 ice cubes, put it all in the blender, and whip it up. And the ice cubes make it cold, so at bedtime, drink this concoction, cold. That way it'll stay down.
There's lemon juice, olive oil,
And Coca-Cola.
and Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
Coke's a good medicine.
high fructose.
Nothing finer for kidney stones. Pardon? But you want
3 ounces of olive oil.
virgin olive oil.
Yeah, cold breath.
Virgin.
How much ice did you say? I had
What?
ice, how much ice?
2, just a couple ice cubes.
Couple ice.
It'll break up and cool down the solution.
Yeah, if anything helps.
So it's cold, then you can swallow it down and bounce.
Yeah, really.
Nasty
You
stuff.
do a room temperature, it can bounce and all over the floor. You don't want that. Do that at bedtime. The next morning, drink a full 10-ounce bottle of citrate of magnesia. Go down here to Save On, Diet Right, Walgreens, They've all got it under their own label. It comes in lemon lime, cherry, and a third one, raspberry. It's a full 10-ounce bottle of carbonated liquid dynamite. So drink that when you arise. And stay home. You do not want to be out in the car taking the kids to school and stuck in traffic. Because it's going to come through in about 2 hours. And when it says now, it did. So if you're stuck in traffic and it says now, you know you're going to change your clothes. You may want to change your car. Because it did. Magnesium. And you will find hundreds of these little soft BBs floating in the top of the stool when it comes through. Gallstones are cholesterol beads with a calcium covering. They're natural M&Ms. Except it's not chocolate in the middle, it's cholesterol.
So overall joint pain then would probably be more associated with your gallbladder points, which are,
Overall joint pain,
yeah, stiffness, I mean, just.
how much calcium do you take?
What's that?
Calcium. How much calcium is the patient taking? No wonder they hurt. Gotta get them on calcium. Gallbladder may be involved, but I doubt it. If you're not taking calcium.
But you suspect stones when it's a severe case, you saying?
Pardon?
You suspect stones when it's a severe joint case?
Oh, yeah. If they, they're being hustled, you got stones, you gotta get surgery now. That's when you wanna do this.
I got it.
Get them on the apple juice, if you can. So that they can get free of pain. But as long as they're hurting, having trouble, and the surgeon only makes money cutting. Oh, you gotta have that cut out? Now, Mayo did it right when he invented that surgery, which he didn't. Went in, opened the gallbladder, and took out the stones, and sewed the bladder back together.
So take it
That
out.
would have been a good reparative piece of surgery. But no, he went in and get clip. And then sew the two pieces of the tube back together. Allowed to. They built Mayo Brothers on it. And I used to know which Mayo developed that, I forgot. But that's what built Mayo Brothers. Gallbladder surgeries. First time it was ever done.
Yeah.
And he just screwed up the patient. Because now you got a constant dribble of bile. It doesn't go in just when you have fats. It's there dribbling all the time.
With the removed gallbladder you're talking about.
Pardon?
With the removed gallbladder, yeah.
Yeah. Because they don't have it. How can you have a gallbladder attack when I don't have one? I see them every day. Nobody told the body. They took it out.
So, if they have a gallbladder surgery and have knee pain, you still adjust?
Of course, it's a gallbladder. All the circuits, all the computer,
Right.
the wiring's there, everything. Just because the part's there, not there. Nobody told the body you took the part out. So you gotta work around it, get it connected. Like, how many times have you seen a gallbladder attack without a gallbladder? You've been in practice over a week. You've at least got one or two. They're that common. So it makes it fun.
The gallbladder flush is not an annual preventative
No.
treatment. This is a last-ditch emergency treatment. Because if you make it a spring tonic, then every spring the body is going to hold them off until then. And because you're gonna do it. The body is too lazy, and if you're gonna do something, it says, cool, I don't have to. That means detoxing, chelation, oh, we're gonna flush the system out every once a year, that's spring cleaning. Well, the body is supposed to be doing it daily. And it will wait. And I've seen that for years. People, they do their spring cleaning. Yep, you watch as that spring cleaning comes, there comes the toxicity, the junk, the symptoms. See, I need to do it. Body will wait a full year to do it. Because you will.
So wait till the bitter end on that one.
All of them. Now, if the gallbladder's in trouble and it's not resetting itself, I mean, obviously you fix it,
Keeps coming
but
back.
it keeps coming back, then get them on the apple juice for 2 weeks
All right.
to support it. Then get them off it. But you don't get on the apple juice just for its and giggles. Now, have it for breakfast and throughout the day for regular juice, that's fine. Unless you're using it as therapy. One drop during the day kicks it into straight apple juice and no gallbladder support.
Why apple juice?
The malic acid. I heard a TV ad for something, and they were saying, we now have apple juice without malic acid.
Oh, no. Wow.
Yeah. What good's that?
Very
You want it with
profitable.
apple and malic acid.
Yeah,
Put some canola oil in it.
it's profitable.
Yeah, probably.
You cut out the malic acid, now you get gallbladder problems, and now you get surgery.
Yeah.
Profit. If you look at all of medical world's advertising and results, and just throw a dollar sign on it, it all makes sense. It's not the guy on the corner, I'm not blaming him. And that was a big pill to swallow, because I sure wanted to. But the corporation that governs all of his information, governed all of your schooling, they're in it for the money. So if there's money in it, there's power in it, patients die. No money, no power, patients live. Just sheer observation of their results.
Right now, that cholesterol lowering medication, which is the biggest killer.
Mandatory liver surgery, transplant. Profit. When they've already announced over the radio, public radio, there is no health-related issues with cholesterol, except to sell cholesterol products. And how many doctors out there say, oh, we gotta do a cholesterol test? What for? Makes no difference.
Lipitor deficiency.
But they got lipitor.
Well, they need 2 more for that Tahiti trip.
By torn, I think they took out.
Yeah, they did. Well, that was one of the 100,000 deaths.
Yeah.
So they still got,
Uveitis.
Anything to do for a patient that's passing kidney stones.
That what?
Passing kidney stones.
Yeah, get them drinking their water.
As they pass
Well,
them.
gallstones, kidney stones, cataracts, even glaucoma is dehydration.
So we have a trick for kidney stone. But,
Is that T1, T5, T8?
that's for kidney, yeah. But there's a trick that we do. And we can knock kidney stones in 2 hours. No matter how bad, if they're kidney. So you're in trouble. Don't have a treatment for that.
So it won't dissolve in the ureter, it won't dissolve those. It won't, you're saying that the treatment doesn't dissolve the stones in the
In the ureter, no. If they move on into the pelvis, or down the ureter, we're dead in the water. Because I don't have anything.
That's the most painful part.
Darn. We gotta catch them early. Any of your people here?
Yeah.
The one that, metal diet back there.
Oh, those of you that were at my seminar last week, my mom's here with the heavy metal vials, the stuff you
I
wanted.
need
So
the
if you
clicker
wanted-
too, yeah, okay.
So if you wanted to go over and talk to her,
All right.
Right now?
So she brought the stuff there.
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right back.
We got what, another half hour?
You want another Vic?
Oh, we did.
Another person?
Okay.
Let's take a quick 5 minutes and then we'll come back. Okay.
No, I wasn't talking about you, I was talking about her. TV with some type of career on me and finally I hope hers went away too.
Oh, went away, I forgot about it. I didn't.
Maybe not.
She was supposed to be daddy.
I'd love to be there.
Good show.
Dr. Hyman, I want my bunny back to Parker.
Your case,
Don't shine around to me, no. Make it fun. Water. Don't help me get water.
Hi, Dominic DeRoche. I haven't seen you in probably 10 years. Wow. Yeah, I know. I'm in Vermont. I was in Vermont last time. I saw the article that you had in the
But this way is pressing stimulates it. That's all you have to do. Have that feel like
That's what it seemed.
yeah, you did.
We really do work hard.
That's a fantasy practice, yeah, that's great.
Change your pressure.
Guys, all the treatment to other doctors for blood work. So he can look at your blood. Exactly.
I know, it's one fantasy land to another, but you know, it's a different transition. Yeah. Don't mess with it. It's like your personal kind of a serendipity thing.
Not bad, huh?
Why I was making it. It's so toxic there. Just accumulated
That's a virtue, that's a right.
farm stuff, combination. It's like my body can shut down. Muscle tested, map and said, okay, I'm open and receptive. Where's the best place on the planet for me? I'm the highest and best interest, this kind of thing. And it ended up being in Vermont. I was with Chris Brown at the time. He muscle tested Vermont as well, but northern. I tested for central. So he moved to northern. think I told you, 21 day fast. It's like 35 came back online with 5
So as far as his
it's like, that's where I was supposed to be, okay.
This is the whole kit.
So
All right.
just stayed in line
Thank you
ever
very
since.
much.
Harmonizing. I've moved to Central Vermont, it's even better.
I teach in the seminar.
Practices.
Thought I had your phone number today. Get breakfast in there?
That way I don't have to see a lot of.
Right.
They all work on it. We solve the coffee.
We used to have
I kind of get started because I have a couple of practices. I don't have huge numbers, I don't like saying huge numbers, but like when I get people flying in there, and they'll just follow me around. Whatever office I'm in, is up to resolved or well on their way. It's just, I like it. I got like the miniature version of what you have. I would love to pick your brains on No.
Just came on Monday.
He got an experimental military vaccine and stuff like that, 27 years. So it's just been, he's been amazing. Immune system. Oh, no, we had to, he's on morphine, mega morphine. He had problems, but she was able to get hard because his confidence is they just got to the point where the pain levels are full body system.
I think station.
Thank you.
All right, any questions now?
Is the glaucoma treatment the same as it always has been?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to do that.
Haven't changed. Still works.
It's the old rule, if the wheel ain't broke, why are you trying to fix it?
Yeah.
What room are you gonna be in, Ed?
Same as that, right
This one? It's,
Tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll talk tomorrow. They wrote it down as a, I don't know where he came up with this, he used a microcurrent. It's not, I'm gonna do an anti-aging.
That's all
I'm
I
gonna show some unique techniques that change the whole metabolism.
Excellent. Good, I'll be there. If
When
I
you reverse aging eye failure, I'm good at vision and that, and I've gotten phenomenal results with other patients. I can't get crap with me.
welcome to the club.
It's
You know, I wrote the book, therefore I know how to break it.
I didn't catch your name, what was your name?
All right,
Edward Wagner.
Ed Wagner.
Thank you.
2:30 tomorrow, right here.
Okay, so I need to know.
Be here.
Okay.
Remember the guy I was talking about with the 2 pounds of red meat with the NFL?
Yes.
That's him.
I was talking to him about it, and he had to go, it didn't matter what it said.
Is that what you want to be famous for, Ed?
I got your videotape from last year on that one. I was posted on my webpage.
Really?
Yeah.
Another victim?
Another victim?
Right there?
No, you've got way too much work. That's a waste.
Thanks.
My pleasure. Sure.
Leave your coat.
Go quick.
I'm gonna be your
Or
challenge.
anything else, you know.
Still got it.
Come on. Hold your arm up. First you gotta get a strong arm. That helps when you go testing. When she's just doing this.
Nothing
Pull
there.
hard. There we go. Nope. You're toast.
Oh, boy.
Have you been worked out this morning or no?
Have I what?
You been worked out this morning?
No.
No. Just dehydrated probably.
Dehydrated.
You're toast. Come on up, dear. Let's see what you got. Shoot, you find all these things. I wanna fix it. So
You're
we gotta-
saying your toes, you should be adjusted? I mean,
Go get drink your
you can't
water.
do it manually adjusted?
There we go. Okay.
Nothing.
Walk.
Most of these people are dehydrated, that's why they're
Touch
toast.
your shirt.
Oh, okay. So I could actually get an adjustment and not kill myself, right? It would go.
Not right now.
No.
Did not get adjusted at all.
Nothing.
Alright,
Get 4 quarts of water in, and then you can talk about it.
alright.
It won't benefit you, it may not kill you.
Right, I got you.
Well, that could kill him.
It could.
Popping and cracking, that's about it, huh?
Just so you know, our yard already worked with me.
Yeah, she's not, well, at least she just came out of high thymus, so I just noticed that. Uh-huh.
Okay.
So what's everybody seeing?
That's what I'm making.
You may not be in high thymus, but she's in high heels.
Does that look good to you?
Yeah, to me, that was Mr. Acid.
Now focus. Instead of looking at all the big movement stuff.
Oh, the shoulders seem compressed, tight in the back, like a rhomboid compensation.
There's not much of an arm swing.
Walking is small.
Yeah, did you notice that?
Camera thing, mate.
I'm kind of
Relax.
relaxing.
I know, but you don't.
You're
You're finding.
center stage.
Just all watching you, no problem.
Yeah, she looks pretty good.
Get me stiff
You little
or
walk
worried
on
or
that.
something.
So what's everybody seeing?
No head movement.
Shoulders and muscles.
That's the
Sure,
end
Paul.
of firing.
Walk with the shoes on.
Take my shoes
Don't
off?
take a shoe
No.
off.
No, no,
No, no.
How could you ever see what's wrong with a patient if you take them out of the environment they live in? And how are you gonna fix it if you can't put them in the environment that caused the problem?
If it's an environment's unhealthy for them, it doesn't make sense to take them out of it. I mean, if it's high heels, it's easy to correct. It's not like they're gonna die flat. No.
In some cases, yeah, they would.
Well, if they've been in heels for years, right? Shock to the system.
Or their job demands them to be in heels.
Okay.
Gilbert, what do you see, man? TV rules, remember, what are you seeing I don't see?
Watch her in the middle of her back when she's walking.
Middle of her back?
out to a T8,
Yeah,
and then it just freezes.
okay. That's real subtle. I didn't see it, to be honest with you.
When all the easy indicators look like they're moving, well, then what do you look at?
And I think if she was walking, like, on a walk down a whole block, she'd have more movement, like if she went out for a walk.
You move the
That
camera.
This
camera
little room
kinda-
is kind of.
That doesn't do us any good. We got some basic structural stuff. What else is going on?
Hip.
So what they do, problems are.
My breast was tender, it's been, and iron was, went right to it when I was holding up, and it feels a lot better, and I don't know why I'm not myself, and a little bit of tenderness in here. Chronic dorsals.
That would be going in. That's a new one. Breathe in. Out. Breathe in. Out. Okay, now walk again. Oh, darn, I forgot to test a bunch of stuff. Oh, well. So what's changed?
Hips are moving. She's got. Quicker. Hips are doing something different.
She has momentum now.
How's that tenderness?
That's good.
The arm tender?
Yeah.
I didn't touch it.
Like it was deep in my joints, in the femur.
But even her speed picked up.
You gonna be here tomorrow?
Speed's picked up.
I want to correct that if you do it.
Really, probably this afternoon.
Okay.
How's the tenderness on the breast?
She touched
I know.
it before,
But you said it was still tender.
yeah.
Now,
It's great, yeah, okay.
is there any left?
Yeah. A little bit. But not like it was.
Still a little? Let's see. Just let it run.
Okay?
Yeah, hold on. Breathe in. Out. Okay. Get some water.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You do have a choice. You can go after each individual piece and fix it, and be there forever. You've got upteen how many cells in the body? Upteen trillion? That's a lot of office visits. Or you learn to do one move and affect all trillion cells, and then see what's left that the body could not do automatically. Whether it has, you do the grand scale of the entire fuse for the city, or you go house by house. TBM, yeah, house to house, and room to room, and every wire in that circuit. And you have to have it. They work together. Natural healing, we go hit the fuses for the entire city. When we can catch that, then we notice that, oh, this one didn't light up, that one didn't. Okay, now I can go in here. But when I first started, the entire city was dark. So how many homes do you want to hit? And where does it go? I don't know. I didn't predict. I didn't know what all was going on. And we didn't even do a full workup. This is just Band-Aid. Just a first aid. Yeah, think the first aid's a little powerful? Big Band-Aid. And what the techniques really do when you dive in, this is cakewalk. It's not even considered miracles for the stuff we see in our offices. We got TBMers, we got natural healing. Most of them have taken both. They expect miracles and frustrated if they don't. And that's when they call. And then we give them the new trick of whatever we're playing with, and they start getting the same miracles.
You said you're gonna be in Dallas in 2 weeks?
Yeah, it is. I am. Doing a 1, 2, and 3. At the Wyndham, Dallas Airport North.
I'm sure you got the brochure.
Yep.
Dr. Vic, when you do this TBM protocol, you find that it fixes a lot of the subluxations you would have normally gone after, obviously? Like you say, they come in after a sugar attack, possibly? And you notice that you don't have to do, or do you do a chiropractic adjustment, or do you go back more or less into the TBM?
You do everything,
Just do it all, whatever it takes.
but you do it when the body wants it. Until the body is turned on, that's module 1, TBM. It cannot tell you what's wrong with it, because it doesn't know. You spent your young life telling your body, shut up, I don't want to hear about it. As I said yesterday, radio, TV, 15, 20 years ago, what does America do for a normal morning headache?
Normal every day.
If you woke up without a headache, go bang your head in the wall, because you've got an aspirin deficiency. And you've got to take your bare aspirin every morning. So now you take your 2 aspirin, stops the headache. That quits working, so you take 4. When that quits working, you change to another brand. Then you double. Then you change again. And finally it gets bad enough to get out to the medical doctor on the corner, and he gives you something stronger. And then the body says, oh, okay, you don't want to hear about that, so that's okay. We won't tell you. And the body goes, don't have the headache anymore, I've worn out. But the body also forgets to tell itself. It has no idea that you got problems. Because it didn't tell you. You weren't going to listen anyway. I know, I've been there.
So you're likening that to like a chiropractic Band-Aid, go and get adjusted.
Yeah.
You do it too frequently, it takes away the symptoms, the patient doesn't know how to, you don't really even know how to help the person because they're just in cover-up mode.
Or if you find something every time you treat the patient that you should treat. Nah, don't worry about that. It's always there, don't worry about it. And it finally comes around to the barn and bites you. It bit me. Took 30 feet of intestine.
Right, with the intestinal, they were ignoring the intestinal reflex.
Yeah, it said I had trouble, but I wouldn't let anybody do anything about it. I'm tough. But it finally caught up with me.
I understand.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Look at the feet?
Yep.
Oh, we still got 3 minutes.
You're late.
I'm late? Oh, 11:20.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you for coming. We are out of time, I hear.